On tonight's edition of The Overtime, Coconino girls basketball is headed to the playoffs with their first game at home. Also, Flagstaff High's girls Flagstaff basketball squad is dominating the 4A region and are hoping for a deep postseason run. On the soccer field, the Flagstaff girls are state champion contenders, but will their regional rivals stand in their way? And finally, we'll break down the Flagstaff boys basketball team's playoff chances. All that and more on the first spring 2020 edition of The Overtime. Thank you for joining us and welcome to this edition of The Overtime, Northern Arizona's only sports show. I'm your host, Sadie Thompson, and I'm joined by sports reporter Sean Clark. Sean, a lot of high school sports to talk about. You ready?
Yes, I love discussing playoff action of sports at any level. Let's talk about it.
Alrighty, first off tonight, the Coconino girls basketball team. Sean, bring us up to date on this team.
Sadie, this Coconino team has had a good season in the 4A conference in the state of Arizona with a 20-8 record and a 10-2 record in sectional play. They are led by the dynamic wing duo of Husky and Kiana Manuelito, who are averaging 16.0 and 12.9 points per game respectively. Center Mahal Long has been a force for this team in the paint, as she has put up 8.4 points per game to go with 8.7 rebounds per game. They dominated everyone in their region, except their crosstown rivals. Against Flagstaff High, they struggled to get anything going offensively, as they lost 68-38 and 48-28 in their two meetings this season. I was at the most recent game, and what I saw was a team that struggled to maintain possession and even hit free throws. While they were playing a team that is top 5 in the 4A conference, it was still a point of concern for the Panthers. Adding to this was a 32-31 loss in out-section matchup at Peoria. Now, if I'm Coach Martin Reyes, I would make those as a point of emphasis as Coconino prepares for their play-in game against Post and Butte. They need to step it up offensively, as the Panthers have only scored 59 points in their last 2 regular season games.
Free throws can be so crucial in crunch time, Sean. We'll be watching closely to see how things end up. Next up is the Flagstaff girls basketball team. Sean, how are the Eagles looking heading into the postseason?
Sadie, unlike their crosstown rivals, the Flagstaff Eagles come into the postseason soaring and filled with momentum. Their last loss was January 10th, which was the day I was cruising through the highway filled with caffeine. They are led by freshman sensation Maya Verse, who already looks like the Giannis Antetokounmpo of Arizona 4A girls basketball. She is a big talent who can not only dominate inside, but can guide an offense and lead a lethal transition offense. When I saw her play Coconino for the second time, she broke out that Giannis-like Euro step, and I was wowed by it. Another key piece for this Eagles team is senior sharpshooter Emma Doskic, who can channel her inner Steph Curry and drain rainbow shots in defenders' faces. 2 years ago, this Eagles team made it all the way to Phoenix for the state semifinals, and as a top 5 seed, they are once again looking to make it back to that position, and possibly even further. Even if they fall short of this ambition, however, Verse is only a freshman and will look to continue to excel for years to come. When they faced a good Panthers team twice, they dominated, and that could be a sign for success in this postseason.
I have also seen these Eagles play, and this team has something really special, a lot of great action ahead. Staying with Flag High but moving over to the boys side of things, we are going to recap the Flagstaff boys basketball season and talk about their journey. What's going on, Sean?
Sadie, Flag High had a very bumpy season as they finished with a record of 17-11 with a 7-5 record in sectional play. They started 5-2, then went 1-5 over their next 6 games and ripped off 4 wins in 5 games. Then after losing 2 straight, they went on an incredible hot streak that saw them win 7 games in a row, heading into their season finale at home against the Coconino Panthers. Against their crosstown rivals, they fell flat in a 57-33 loss that saw them only score 4 points in the 4th quarter. They were led by the trio of Nick Sneezy, Christian Lancaster, and Josh Lenners. They will lose Lancaster to graduation, but their leading scorers, Sneezy and Lenners, will be back for next year's campaign. The 11-1 in sectional play Coconino Panthers will lose their leading scorer, Preston Olney, for next season. So watch for the Eagles to have revenge on their mind next season after a deflating loss to end their regular season on senior night. Tonight they will take on Rio Rico in a play-in game for the postseason.
Although the season didn't necessarily end on a high note, it is good to see the lineup is only taking a small hit for the upcoming season. Moving from the court to the soccer field, the Flagstaff girls soccer team has been on the same track as the girls basketball team. Sean, what does their season look like?
Sadie, it's always nice from a fan's perspective to have a school that is succeeding at multiple sports at a high level. And Flagstaff High is one of those schools, as not only is their basketball team doing really well, the girls soccer team has also had a very successful season. Flagstaff not only qualified for the playoffs, but they finished in the top 8 to earn themselves a first-round bye. Their top 7 goal scorers all had at least 5 goals. And the best part about that? They're all underclassmen. This team is only going to get better as they continue to improve and gel more as a team. Heading into the playoffs, the Eagles have had a lot of scoring options and they will be a threat against anyone they play. Not only was this season successful, but their future is bright as well, since they're a team led by underclassmen. Also, the team that beat them in sectional play, the undefeated Prescott Bears, will lose their top 3 players to graduation. So next year has set up very nicely for the Eagles to be successful. Soto, who had 14 goals on the season as a sophomore, will look to blossom into even more of a star. But first, let's see how this year's postseason goes for the Eagles and Soto.
Yeah, Sean, with a dominant presence of underclassmen, there are no limits for how high this team can grow. I'm definitely looking forward to next season. Coming up, I caught up with the Flagstaff boys soccer team and how they have stuck together through the years. And we have our first Spring 2020 NAU Spotlight. Stay tuned after the break.